So this was the topology which we discussed, I guess. So these two are in VLAN 10. And these two are in VLAN 20. And these are in VLAN 10. And these are in VLAN 20. And I think I have to shut it down. So other two, PCs I'll connect later. That will be better. So IP, I'll configure it. All of them are in the same network, correct? So 192.168.1.1/24. Switch to, sorry, not switch to, PC2. IP 192.168.1.2/24. PC3 IP 192.168.1.3/24. One 192.168.1.4/24.
configure it in different two VLANs.
It's okay. All of them, we have not started discussing inter-VLAN routing. Only basic VLAN. Okay. So all the PCs have been connected with IP addresses. Now, basically, right now, I'll be, as we discussed yesterday, theoretically, all these PCs will be able to communicate with each other, correct? Why? Because in switch 1, all the ports of a switch is in VLAN 1. See, all these ports are part of the VLAN 1. That is why they are able to communicate with each other. And this port is also VLAN 1. So now we will create certain VLANs, that is VLAN 10, 20, correct? Correct? Exit. So I created VLAN 10 and 20. Now we have to make the switch ports, respective switch ports to its respective VLAN. For that, interface range E0/0-1, that is these two interfaces. Okay. Switch port mode access, it should be access port, correct? Then switch port access VLAN 10. So these two ports will be now part of VLAN 10, correct? How do we check that? Do show VLAN brief again, correct? So now you can see E0/0 and E0/1 is part of VLAN 10. Clear? All of you? Clear? Hari? Now interface E0/0-2-3, that is the other two ports. That is also switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Now can I communicate from these two PCs to these two PCs? No. Is there any way to make them communicate? No. Still not possible. Inter-VLAN routing, yesterday I told you, if it is two different networks and two different VLANs, then you can do inter-VLAN routing. If it is the same network and two different VLANs, you cannot make them communicate in a normal procedure. Okay. So done. Same way, I have to do the same configuration in what? Do WR in the other side, correct? It is switch to config mode VLAN 10, 20 VLAN, interface range E0/0-1, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10, and then again the 2-3 switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20 over. So this side also the configuration is done. Now what is the final thing? This VLAN 10 interfaces should be able to communicate to VLAN 10 in this switch, and VLAN 20 should be able to communicate to VLAN 20 in this switch, correct? So for that we have to make this interface into trunk. So for that we will go into switch 1 interface. So there is a command like this, show interface status. This is actually very helpful. You can see a lot of details in this. E0/0, what is the status? It's up. It is part of which VLAN now? VLAN 10. Instead of VLAN brief, this gives you a better idea. Okay. And duplex is full. Speed is auto, all those things. Okay. And all the other interfaces are part of which VLAN? 1. Correct? Show interface status. Now what I'm going to do is, I'll go into interface E1/1. E1/1 is which interface? This interface, right? The interface which is connected between the switches. I will type, what is the command to make this into a trunk port? Switch port, trunk, encapsulation, .1q. First you have to define the encapsulation method to be used. So interface E1/1, switch port, trunk, encapsulation, .1q, then switch port, mode, trunk, correct? Enter. Now, will this port become, I have configured this side, okay? My question is, will this interface become a trunk link now? Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. No? Depends on what? No, he's correct. Huh? See, now you are wrong. Now you are wrong. So that is called CDP. DTP. That's what DTP. DTP. D for Denmark.
Oh yeah.
So it depends on DTP. Fine. What? It will happen. What will happen? The interface will be trunk. Sorry? Okay. No, what no? It will not happen. You. Yes, it will happen. No. Yes. Yes. Janvi, what you have written? It depends on the mode of the other side interface. If it is desirable or auto, then it is possible. So actually, you and Janvi, what she told, all these three people are right, kind of right. But the answer is not perfect. Still, you guys think it is depends. What do you mean by depend? So it can be anything.
By default, it is desirable.
By default, it is desirable.
So if we listen to others.
Okay, DTP. I hope you all know about DTP. Yes, dynamic desirable protocol. There are totally how many modes? 3. One is dynamic auto, dynamic desirable, and the other one is dynamic. Unconditionally trunk. That is called as on mode. Correct. So in all the conditions, it will make a trunk link except both sides is dynamic auto. Correct. Basically, dynamic auto will say you start the initiation. You start. Basically, both will not, start ego problem, right? So same way, it will never make a trunk link. Correct. So apart from the dynamic auto, I hope all of you know, right? Dynamic auto. Do I have to explain it? Anybody wants it? Huh?
From my side.
Yeah. Anybody who wants it to be explained? Explain. You didn't study in CCNA. No, it's okay. I just asked. I will explain. So if there is a trunk link in both the side, if this side is on means switch port mode trunk. If you give, that is unconditionally that interface is converted into trunk link, and the other side is also trunk on, then definitely there is a trunk link. Correct. One side is on and the another side is dynamic desirable. What do you mean by dynamic desirable? This side will initiate the opposite side. So it will tell like, let's make a trunk link. This will initiate the connection, correct? So this will create a trunk link. Yes, because he initiates, he will also is unconditionally trunk. They will become a trunk. One side is on and the other side is dynamic auto. Will it become a trunk link? Yes. Now both sides is dynamic desirable. Will it become a trunk link? Yes. Correct? Now the last condition is what? One side is dynamic auto and the other side is dynamic auto. What do you mean by dynamic auto? Means it will not initiate the trunk link. It will wait for the other side, opposite side to initiate the connection. Now he will wait for, he will wait for the other guy to initiate and he will wait for the other guy to initiate. Basically both will not initiate and trunk will not form. Yeah. So in this case, all the switch ports. So I have a question. If I connect a normal PC to this switch port, it will be what kind of port? Yeah, it's switch port. What kind of port? Two types of ports are there, access port and trunk port, right? So what kind of port it will be? Sorry, not relating. Huh? Access port, correct. It is access port, correct? When I connect a PC, to a switch port, that port is access port. Now, I initiated one side with trunk. The other side is also becoming trunk. So how is that possible? If it is access by default, then why it is becoming into trunk, the other side?
Dynamic desirable.
But you guys just now told this was access port. If I connect a PC into the same port, it will be access port or dynamic auto.
But in the PC connected port, it is not getting this VPDU.
VPDU, that is for STP. This has nothing to do with STP. Correct? Have you ever thought about this? When I connect if I remove this link and in this port, if I connect a PC, that will be access. I agree to you guys, it is true. And also, if this is connected to a switch who tells I want to become a trunk, he's ready to become a trunk also. Why? Negotiating is the reason, but then how it is becoming access port? No, that's not the. Maybe there is a what is the confirmation message called as? Bharat message? No, right? No. See, the reason is different. Let me go to switch 2. Because switch 1 I cannot show because we have manually made some changes in switch 1 interface. Which is the interface E1/1. Correct? E1/1 of switch 2. Let's see what is it. There is 2 modes for a switch port. What is the mode? One is operational mode, one is administrative mode. Okay? Do show interfaces switch port if you type. Can you see this? Administrative mode and operational mode. Right now, don't look into E0/0 because I have made changes into the administrative mode. Let's go to E1/1, which I didn't configure at all. What is it? Yes. E1/0. Next is E1/1. Yeah, here. What is the operational mode? Dynamic. Sorry, administrative mode is dynamic, auto, and operational mode is trunk. Means this by default a switch port's interface mode will be, see, 1/0 is not connected anywhere, right? What is the default behavior? Administrative mode is dynamic auto and operational mode is static access. That is why he is ready to become a access port in the operational level, but in the administrative level he is still a dynamic auto who's ready to become a trunk. Okay, so if he gets a trunk initiation from the other side, he's ready to become a trunk because he's a dynamic auto. If he's dynamic desirable, this will not work. The moment he's connected to a switch to switch, he becomes a trunk. What if we don't want that connection to be trunk? Correct? So it can be an issue. So they don't keep dynamic desirable in my understanding. They'll keep normally as dynamic auto so that we will, somehow initiate the procedure of becoming a trunk link. Now, why this is important? Because the ports which are connected to end devices, like in this interface, let's say you are not giving switch port mode access. They will be access port. Yes, they will be access port. But there is a threat there. What if this is some kind of hacker and he sends a DTP message? This switch is ready to negotiate and become this as a trunk link also. Now trunk link, if it becomes trunk link, there are so many threats again. I think you guys can imagine about it, right? Yesterday I told you, whenever a data is flooded from a particular VLAN, which interfaces it will go through? Through all the that particular VLAN interfaces as well as the trunk interface. That means a copy will go to the PC also. So he can get certain data in the network, correct? So to avoid this situation, you have to make sure the ports which are connected to end devices, administrative mode and operational mode as what? Static access. How do I do that? You know the answer already. Switch port mode access. For example, if I go to in this switch also E0/0 to E0/3, I have already given switch port mode access, correct? So that is why you see here in E0/0, for example, what is administrative mode? Static access. What is operational mode? Static access. Okay, clear? Now same way, E1/1 administrative mode is dynamic auto, operational mode is right now trunk because it has negotiated. If it is not negotiated, the operational mode will be static access. Now I have to make sure this interface E1/1 in switch 2 will also be administratively and operationally it should be trunk. So switch port trunk encapsulation .1q switch port mode trunk. Now if you again check switch port, what is it? Interface switch port. Do show interfaces switch port pipe begin beg. You can see now it became what? Administrative mode is trunk, operational mode is also trunk for that interface. Correct? Yes or no? Clear? Any doubts? Make a note of these things. By default, a switch port administrative mode is dynamic auto and operational mode is static access. That is the reason if a PC is connected to a switch port, it is ready to become a access port. I mean, you understood the point, right? Write it. I'm not giving notes, I'm just telling. If you're stuck somewhere, let me know. Okay, the starting. Okay, guys, stop. Listen to me first. I'll tell in one stretch. All the switch ports, all the Cisco, don't write. All the Cisco switch ports by default, administrative mode is dynamic auto and operational mode is static access. This is the reason whenever we connect a switch, PC to the switch port, it will behave as a access port because of the operational condition as static access. And whenever we connect another switch to the switch port and it makes as what dynamic desirable or switch port mode trunk, it will negotiate. Since the administrative mode is dynamic auto, is ready to become a trunk also. So basically is ready to become both access or trunk. This is the default behavior. If you want manually to make administrative mode and operational mode as trunk or access, what is the command you have to give? Switch port mode access or switch port mode trunk. So that administrative and operational mode will be trunk or access, whatever it is. I don't know this much. And the command to see that is do show interfaces switch port. Simple, right?
One small question. When, although these days rarely use, switch port most host is
Switch port.
Switch port mode access, and in that case there was one command something with host. Or switch port host, something like that. And that also make it the host only.
No, switch port access, switch port .1q tunnel. You can see this dynamic private
port access host something. I mean, I forgot the command. I mean, it is never used even. I also never used.
Maybe in the old switches, it's completely gone. 15.0, it's not even supporting, so it's obsolete. Host, don't support. क्या हुआ? Bharat ഇന്നത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സിന്റെ വീഡിയോ വേണമെന്ന് നിർബന്ധമാണ്. കിട്ടണോ? ചോദിക്കണോ? ഹലോ ജാൻവി, hello. Can I mean, can you send me the yesterday's recording if you don't mind? Hello. Yes, send it through Telegram itself. It supports any size of the file. Doesn't matter.
Okay then.
Okay. क्या हुआ? क्या डाउट है? हाँ, okay. Do show interface status. So now you can see which is the trunk interface, which VLAN interface. It's actually a very useful command. Show interface status. Show interfaces switch port is to see that here. Janvi, you can install Telegram in the laptop also, like this. See here, I have Telegram in my laptop. It is available for Windows also. So it's password. I mean, it is password protected, but you can install it in the laptop also. It will be much more easier. Done? Written notes. This is one way to see which is the trunk interface. What is the other way to? All of you have written over? Okay. Another way is what? Do show interface trunk. By looking at this command also, you can see which is the trunk interfaces in your switch. Enter. You can see E1/1 is the trunk interface. Mode is on. You can see mode on or dynamic desirable or dynamic auto over here. And encapsulation method used is .1q. Status is trunking. Native VLAN by default is 1. By default, through a trunk interface, all the VLANs is allowed. Correct? VLAN 1 to 4094. And right now, allowed in the active management domain is VLAN 1, 10, and 20, because these are the 3 VLANs which is active. Correct? And VLANs in spanning tree forward, I mean, that is also VLAN 1, 10, and 20. Active. Basically, whichever are active will be there in the spanning tree domain also. So now, here it is allowing 1 to 4094 VLANs. It's a security threat or not? Basically, it's allowing all the VLANs. We are going to do VLAN pruning, okay, or VLAN filtering. You can see through a trunk interface. It is very commonly done in real-time companies also. They will allow only the VLANs which has to be allowed through this trunk link. If there is another trunk link, we will decide which VLAN should be gone through that trunk link. So now I'll go to interface E1/1 switch port trunk allowed VLAN 1, 10. So now I have allowed which VLANs? VLAN number 1 and VLAN number 10. You can check it out. Do show interface trunk. So now it's not anymore 1 to 4094, instead only 1 and 10, correct? But we have to now, we forgot to allow what? 20. So we'll allow 20 also. So how do we allow? Switch port, trunk, allowed VLAN 20? No. No. If you do this, yeah, if you do this, what will happen? Let's see. If you do this, what happened?
Replace others.
Only VLAN 20 is allowed now. You wanted VLAN 1, 10 and 20. So now again I want to allow VLAN 1 and 10. So again if I type only VLAN 1 and 10, 20 will be gone. So what is the solution for this? You have to give switch port allowed VLAN add 1, 10. If you want to remove only one particular VLAN, switch port trunk allowed VLAN, remove whichever VLAN you want to remove, only that particular. If you simply give switch port allowed VLAN, all the other VLANs gone, communication down, network is down, job is maybe at stake, right? So all these things can happen. Do show interfaces trunk. So now VLAN 1, 10 and 20 is allowed. Fine. So do show interfaces E1/1. Sorry. Do show run interface. But E1/1. So this is the command I have given. If you want, you guys can write it down to allow whichever VLANs. And also write down this command. Then you write down switch port allowed VLAN add or remove statement also can be there. Okay, like this. First write down this command. Wait. First write this, then you write also as a note. I'm telling VLAN, like make a note of like add or remove VLAN number, right? In bracket I can write it down. VLAN number, so that you'll understand the syntax. Over. Can I proceed? So next is about native VLAN. We discussed native VLAN yesterday, right? Let me give you an understanding of that. Now let me try to connect two more PCs. .192.168.1. 11/24. IP 192.168.1.10/24. Why did I give 11 there? Save. Okay. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not giving switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 1, because by default this is going to be part of VLAN 1, correct? Okay, fine. So now, since some people wanted to have a better understanding of native VLAN, I'll show you the lab of it. So it's like this. If I send a ping from PC1 to PC5, okay, the ICMP packet will go through trunk interface, which means there will be a .1q tag. I told you the .1q tag and what is the content of it, how many bytes will be there? 4 bytes. I told you what is TPID, what is TCIA and all yesterday, correct? So now let's see the real packet. We have not seen that yesterday, I guess, correct? So I'll capture this in using Wireshark. This is a problem sometimes. It's coming now. So I'll only filter ICMP packets, okay? Because that's what we are going to send, ping packets. Right now there is nothing. So I'll go to PC1. Where is PC1? In PC1, I'll try to ping to what? 1.5, I guess, right? Ping 192.168.1.5. I'm getting reply, and you can see in the Wireshark there is ping packet going on, correct? Now I'll go to the first ping packet, which is sent by 1.1. That is PC1 is sending to the backbenchers. Can you see this? Good. That was my aim. You guys should not see it. So 1.1 to 1.5. Okay, trust me. There is no other way. You have to trust. This is 1.1 and 1.5. And then if you go into this, now you have to see. So I'll magnify it. Now is it visible? No, for you still it's no. You come here. No. Suddenly how it will be visible? Come here. You don't trust me. You come here. I don't trust you. You come here. Sit somewhere there. In front of that Vivek. Yeah. Is it visible now? See, another guy got a spot. Okay, so after layer 2 header, there is a .1q header this time, correct? Do you remember I told you after there is a type? Do you remember I told you 8100 yesterday? I mentioned there will be a type in the Ethernet header, right? Which will be 0x8100. I think I said it also. Then what is the type? The type will be normally mentioning the upper layer protocol going to be used. In this case, in a normal Ethernet frame, you will see what you see, the number here 0800. 0800 is of IPv4. Let's say there is no .1q header. Then in a normal Ethernet header, you will see in the type as 0x0800, which means it tells in the next layer you are going to see IPv4 header. Okay, but in this case, in the Ethernet header, you see in the upper layer you're going to see 0x8100, which means you are going to see there is one more information which is .1q header. In the .1q header, there is a type in which it mentions there is a IPv4 header in the top. Now, other than that, I said you the priority 3-bit priority, which is used for class of service, correct? This is discard eligible. Leave that. This is VLAN ID. So it is tagged, right? This is tagged. It is coming from which VLAN? It is coming from VLAN number 10. Clear? This is tag. So the data which is coming from VLAN 10, it is getting tagged. Now, PC 3 to 7. PC 7 is in VLAN 20. PC 3 also is VLAN 20. So I'll ping 192.168.1.7. Correct? That also should ping. There it is. So this is the first packet. 1.3 is trying to ping to 1.7. That will be also tagged. Yes or no? Because there will be a VLAN 20 tag. Yeah, there is a trunk and VLAN 20 is the tagged VLAN which will be visible. Let's see that. VLAN 20 is tagged. Yes or no? VLAN ID tagged is 20. So now you are understanding what is tagging, Hari? So next is we will try to ping from PC 9 to PC 10, the new two devices which we connected. Those two devices are part of which VLAN? VLAN 1. Now VLAN 1 data, will it be tagged? No. Why it will be not tagged? Because it is by default native VLAN. So let's try it out. Ping 192.168.1.10. So it's pinging? Yes. 1.11 is sending to 1.10. This is the first packet, correct? Let's go into that. Is there any tag? Do you see any tag? .1q header? There is no tag at all. Correct. There is layer 2 header, layer 3 header, ICMP header. Over. So in layer 2 header itself, you can see, as I told you, by default, the 0800 will be mentioned in the layer 2 header itself. I told you in the type. See here, in this header, it is mentioned like that. In the .1q header, it is mentioned as 0800. In the normal Ethernet header, it is mentioned as 0x8100. IPv6 has also some code like this. I don't remember. You can Google it. Some type codes are there. There are some thousands of type codes. I don't remember all of them. If you are very smart, you can by heart it. Okay. Some important like IPv4, IPv6, or some important type codes you can by heart it. But other, if you, I don't know. If you want, by heart it. So this is clear now. What is tagging? Now, what we will do is, can we change the VLAN information? I mean, in this, okay, the native VLAN is for a switch, correct? No, it's wrong. It's a wrong statement. The native VLAN is for each trunk interface. A switch doesn't have a trunk native VLAN commonly. This trunk link can have one native VLAN. If there is another trunk link to another switch, that trunk link can have another native VLAN. Okay. So native VLAN has nothing to do with this complete switch, but it's for every trunk link. In this trunk link, who's the default native VLAN? VLAN 1. But I want to change it. I want VLAN 10 to be the native VLAN. What should I do? I'll go to switch 1. Where is it? Switch 1. Interface E1/1. Here I'll give switch port, trunk, native VLAN, and the native VLAN number. What is the native VLAN number? We want it to be 10. Now, wait for some time. This is not the one. This was what I was expecting. What is this? Remember, I think Janvi or somebody here also told there is you only, I guess, right? Somebody, no, Janvi only yesterday told we saw native VLAN mismatch error. Yeah, see this in the native VLAN mismatch error. What do you see this? CDP4. So what is the reason of native VLAN mismatch error? Because of CDP packets. I asked you a question yesterday. How switch understands the mismatch because of CDP? Because I am not sending any packets right now, right? But still it identifies with CDP, which is the native VLAN. But I don't want this error to come. Correct? What was the solution for that? I said no CDP run. You can go in the. I'm already in the config mode. No CDP run. Then you will not get the CDP error messages anymore.
But
It's not.
will be there.
Huh? Mismatch will be there, but it's not a problem.
It will not even create an issue also.
No, it will not create an issue.
Yes.
That's okay.
That is
Because yesterday we discussed about the scenarios where, remember, right? I gave a homework, by the way. Who all did it? Will the two pieces communicate? Why you're laughing, man, when I say homework? Oh, okay, I'll tell you. 1 minute. Who all did it? Who all did it? You did it? Good. Anybody? You? No. You? Good. You? Didn't do. Nice. You laughed, so that means you didn't do. You? Everyone. Na? It will work. Tell me the packet flow. 1, 2.
1, 2, 20, 10, 10, 20. From when the switch one will send the packet to switch two, it will send, it will not tag for the native VLAN, it will not tag. And then
Whose native VLAN? The down PC which is sending is VLAN 10, and the first switch's native VLAN is VLAN 1. Correct? Then it will tag, man. The data will be tagged. How it will not tag? Who said native VLAN? In that interface, which is the native VLAN? VLAN 1 is native VLAN. And the PC is in which VLAN? Then how it will be not tagged? Only VLAN 1 data will be not tagged, right? But VLAN 10 data is going packet flow. Then how it will be untagged? It will be tagged. Yes or no? PC is VLAN 10. He is sending a data and it is going through a trunk interface. In that trunk interface, VLAN 1 is the native VLAN. So will the VLAN 10 data tagged or not? It will be tagged. So earlier you tell it will be not tagged. In the packet flow, it will be tagged in the first link. It will be also tagged in the second link. It will be not tagged in the third link. That's how it works. You have the topology, right? You saw the between the links I have written some numbers. That is native VLANs. So that's how I was asking whether it will communicate or not. Okay. So no native, sorry, CDP. I'm just giving an example, and I'll go to switch 2. Switch 2. Here still it is coming because CDP is still running here, right? No CDP run here also, no need. Then I'll go to interface E1/1 switch port trunk native VLAN what 10. So both side now it is native VLAN is 10. How do you verify it? Do show interfaces trunk. Now what is the native VLAN? 10. Correct? So now again let me send the packet. Okay? Where is the PC1? No. PC1 is in VLAN 10. Correct? Earlier in PC1 when I sent, it was tagged. Correct? Yes or no? Now if I send, it will be tagged or not? It won't be tagged. Let's see that. Is it pinging now? Yes. So now this is the communication. Where is it? 1.1 to 1.5. Correct? This is the first packet. In this, is there any tag you see? But now if I ping from VLAN 1 to VLAN 1, will be there tag? Yes, because that's not a native VLAN anymore. VLAN 10 is the native VLAN. So is the concept clear now? You? Others? Clear? Anyone has doubts? Clear? Is it visible? Good.
So now from The two pieces that you didn't do any changes on the.
Yeah, they will be also tagged because they are not native VLAN. They are VLAN 1 and it is not the native VLAN. So that means it will be tagged, right? Okay.
Well, actually,
What is the doubt?
isn't that you didn't create any VLAN and you just changed the name of VLAN? Well, those pieces stuff in VLAN 1 and they were still able to communicate, but you have to put it in the respective VLAN.
No, you don't have to put.
So you will still communicate.
Yes. Okay. Then I told native VLAN concept is not a very, great concept nowadays. People don't use it. Some of the companies, right? So I told three solutions. What was two solutions? What was it? One is create a dummy VLAN and never assign it to any interface. Correct? What was the second solution? Tag the native VLAN also. 1 minute. Hello. हाँ क्लास में क्या हुआ? नहीं बोलो क्या हुआ? अच्छा हाँ तो मैं बाद में कॉल करूँ 4 बजे के बाद. ठीक है बाय. Okay, so how to tag the native VLAN also? How to tag the native VLAN also? VLAN .1q tag native. Giving this command, there is no untagged frames will go in the network. Everything will be tagged in this switch. This is more secure. I know many of you will be thinking it will be not possible to tag native VLAN. It is possible to tag. Everything can be tagged. So this is the command. Take it down.
These days, actually, VLAN 1 we make shutdown hours.
VLAN 1 can be used also for management purposes because that is a VLAN which cannot be deleted.
No, that's why in previous all the companies, even in Cisco best practice also, it claims that shut down the VLAN 1.
Some companies will prefer that, but not all the companies. I have seen some companies because why I'll tell you. In the NOC and all, network admins will be part of VLAN 1 because even if there is something happened to the switches or some software issues, still VLAN 1 will be at least there. So at least the network admins have the access to the device. Considering that point of view, or else you don't need. They can VLAN 1. Why they keep was VLAN hopping attack and all is possible using that. But instead of that, they can just do this.
That will be best.
They can tag the native VLAN also. No. How is that possible? Any device is connected to the switch will be part of VLAN 1 only.
So even if you change the
by default, no, see, this is a mistake, right? Whenever I speak about VLAN 1 in any class, they'll say native VLAN. Native VLAN is a feature given to VLAN 1. When it is taken by which VLAN? VLAN 1. It is still VLAN 1. All the ports are part of VLAN 1. Only the ports which we have made manually into VLAN 10 and 20 are made into VLAN 10 and 20. So if a new switch I connect to the switch, it will be part of VLAN 1. How it will be part of VLAN 10? Native VLAN doesn't say that, okay, all the switch ports will be VLAN 10 now. No. It will means that the frame which is going through a trunk link will be untagged for that VLAN. That's it. No other meaning for native VLAN. Okay? I hear it in all classes. Whenever I say VLAN 1, sir, native VLAN. I didn't even wanted to speak about that, but that is the first answer I'll get in every class. Yesterday here also it was there. Clear? This is clear? Native VLAN, any doubt? Coming for changing the native VLAN. Do show run interface E1/1. This is the command to change the native VLAN. Do you guys want to do this much right now, or can I go to the next topic? You want to do the lab office right now, or you can go to the next topic, and you will never do the lab, right? You didn't even do yesterday's homework at home. Who all want to do the lab now? Only you 3, 4, 5, 6. See, your right and left is wants to do the lab. Don't threaten them. Anyway, I'll show one more topic for your happiness. What is the next topic after VLAN? Native VLAN? No. Inter VLAN routing. But that's gonna be. You guys know about inter VLAN routing, right? When do we need inter VLAN routing? So let's say, okay, don't fight. It's same. It's not same network and different VLAN. It's different network and different VLAN. It is inter VLAN routing. For example, this case. Let's take 2 PCs like this. This is 192.168.1.1. This is 192.168.1.2. This is 192.168.5.1. This is 192.168.5.2. Both are 2 different networks. Yes or no? And these 2 will be in part of VLAN 10, and these 2 will be part of VLAN 50. Let's say. Okay. If 2 different networks has to communicate, what do you need? Forget about VLAN, inter VLAN routing and all. If 2 different networks has to communicate, what do you need? A layer 3 device. Some layer 3 device is required. That is what we are going to take. That is, yeah, router. Yes, router. So we'll take a router here. Okay. Now this interface of this router, let's say it is E0/0. What will be the IP address of this interface? Can I give 1.10? Yes, I can give. Then what will be the default gateway for VLAN 10 devices? 1.10. But what about 5.0 network? They don't have the gateway. Now, if I give 5.1 network will be not having gateway, correct? So what is the solution for this? Creating a sub interface. So physically there is only one interface which is called as E0/0, but logically we are cutting down this into billions of sub interfaces. Okay. So when you're configuring sub interfaces, you have to first go into the physical interface, the real interface E0/0, and make sure you know how to go into the interface, right? I'm just, you know, casually writing like interface E0/0, and you make sure there is no IP address and it's also up. Okay, no shutdown. Then you exit from this main interface, physical interface, and in the global configuration mode, you will do interface E0/0 dot, and you can give a number. You can give any number, it doesn't matter, but it's a best practice, or it's a common practice. People go for the VLAN number which you are planning to create the interface for. So this interface is created for, I need 2 sub interfaces, one for VLAN 10 and one for VLAN 50. So I'm giving E0/0 dot 10. Even if I give E0/0 dot 20 and configure 10 IP address, it will work, no problem. But it will be confusing for us when you look into the interfaces. So if it is all common, it's better. Now, next is what you have to do. Yeah, why? See, this router is a layer 3 device. Okay, and this interface we have to make it into a trunk. Yes or no? Why? Because there are multiple VLAN information which has to pass through this way. So it has to be a trunk interface. And if a packet is going through a trunk interface, there will be .1q tag. Now .1q tag is a layer 2 technology or layer 2 tagging method. In a normal conditions, layer 3 devices doesn't have to understand the layer 2 .1q tag. Correct? So we are telling first thing you have to configure whenever you configure sub interface is encapsulation .1q means we are telling in this interface you are expecting encapsulation .1q for VLAN number 10. And then you will give the IP address for this particular interface. What is IP address? IP address, whatever, the gateway, maybe 192.168.168.1.10, whatever, 255.255.255.0. You don't have to give no shutdown. By default, it is no shutdown. Done. Same way, I have to also create a sub interface for 50. Interface is 0/0.50 encapsulation .1q for VLAN number 50, and the IP address will be 192.168.50.50 maybe, and 255.255.255.0 over. Then if you configure the gateway, then both of them will be able to communicate with each other. How the data flow will happen from here? It will go to its default gateway through the sub interface, and it will go to the next sub interface, and it will come back to the. This is how the communication will happen, right? This is what inter VLAN routing, or it is also called as router on stick method. Correct? Clear? You want to write it down? This is all you studied in NA, right? In the doubt.
So we have that VLAN tag, and VLAN tag is it the destination VLAN or source VLAN?
Source. Destination VLAN will be source VLAN information. Over. Done. So in real time, is this a good method to make the communication between these two? No, it's not a good method. Why? See, first of all, the router capacity is comparatively lower than a switches. And another thing is, the design method of the, 3-tier architecture of the normal networking, right? In an enterprise network. What is the 3-tier architecture? Core layer, distribution layer, access layer, and the host layer or the server layer, right? So according to that, all the data which is going to the internet, and there will be also a WAN layer. I mean the host layer, server layer, and there will be a WAN layer. This is how it will be, the connections. I'm just giving you an idea of the structure of a small office. 2 PCs, two switches. Two layer 3 switches. 1, 2, 3, 4 connections. They'll be all ether channeled, and this will be having one distribution layer. This can be also what? Layer 3 switches, and this will be having redundancy by connection like this. This will be connected like this. This will be connected like this. And under this, there will be access layer switches, which will be a layer 2 switches, correct? And this layer 2 switches also will be having redundancy by connecting to others. So this is all switches, imagine. Layer 2 switches. So this will be again like this. The connections will go on like this. Okay. Maybe this to this, this to this, this to this, and this to this. In here again, a PC, maybe here also 2 PCs. Here maybe there is one DHCP server, there is a FTP server, and there is a email server, and there is some again PCs here, and there is some HTTP server here, and there is some firewall here, and then there is a router here. Okay, and the router is also connected to multiple devices. So this we can say it as a WAN layer, correct? You always thought in the opposite direction, routers on the top, right? It's not always like that. It can be anyway. Okay, so what is the idea of this? This is a very small network. What is the idea of what? It's a small network. So what is the idea of this? The idea is the PCs, whenever internal communication is happening, internal communication means inside your company itself you are communicating, let all of them to be taken care by the switches. Whenever you want to communicate to the internet, then routers will be involved. Most of the time. Clear? The concept is clear? So you don't have to burden just because you want to communicate to your IT department, to your own HR department, you're involving the router. It's completely unnecessary because anyway, see, there is no other way. If you want to communicate to the WAN, you have to involve what? Routers. Plus, even for LAN, you're involving routers. It's completely unnecessary. Sorry? Yeah. It's overwhelming for the router, right? So it's better to involve only so this may be 2 layer 3 switches where I'll configure what? OSPF, EAGRP, all those things. Maybe in the routers I'll configure BGP, which is required for the ISP communication, or MPL is required for the branch to branch communication or other stuff, VPN, all those things, okay? So otherwise internally I'll communicate using layer 3 switches. Understood? So in our topology also, where is it? Our topology. Yeah. Here, we don't have to involve a router. What we can simply do is we'll make this, we can have this router as a, switch as a layer 3 switch. The moment you make this, how do you make a switch to layer 3 switch? By giving the command IP routing in the global configuration mode, the switch will be capable, or the switches layer 3 capabilities will be active. If you give no IP routing in a layer 3 switch, the layer 3 capabilities will be gone. Okay, when I say layer 3 capabilities means what? What all things will be there?
Routing between the VLANs.
The routing table will be there now, correct? Or else normally a switches has what? Only MAC table. Now there will be also a routing table, and the this routing table belongs in which database? Anybody knows? Have you guys heard about CAM table? CAM. Have you heard about TCAM table? Ternary content access addressable memory. Ternary. TERNA. Not heard? NANRY. Ternary. Okay, leave it. Actually, it is not that. Okay. There is nothing called ternary content addressable memory. So the switches does much more faster processing of routing. Okay, somehow it's still a Ceph. No, TCAM actually.
No.
Ceph is there even in routers nowadays.
Yes.
TCAM is much more faster than routers, which is not. That's the rib looking procedure. TCAM means it's a rib looking procedure. Normally, a 1.1 packet comes to the destination. How a TCAM, I mean, a rib will look one by one. Is there a match for 1.0 network like that? Ternary content addressable memory, it's not like that. It will make a, that is why ternary means 3. 0, 1 or 0, 1. It's that is the 3 possibilities it will create. It's like this. /24 one box it will create. /25 one box. /26 one block. /27 one block. In the routing looking procedure, when we discuss in routing classes, you guys, routing people who have finished, you know, right? We discussed what is the first route lookup procedure? Longest prefix, right? We studied that. So in the longest prefix match, it will first look what? Instead of wasting time line by line, it will match in the /30 box whether there is a match for this destination network. Then directly it will look for the /20. It will check for a box, not for line by line. So the TCAM is much more faster than the RIP. And this TCAM table also take care of the access list in the layer 3 switches. I thought of not telling that, but enough. This is TCAM. If you want more details, you can check it out. So there is something called as TCAM table, which is in layer 3 devices, layer 3 switches, which makes it much more faster and more, efficient. Switches has mapped access list, or VACL, we say it, VLAN access list. And there is also a normal, our layer 3 access list is there, right? That is also there in the layer 3 switches, which is kept in the TCAM table. Okay? The TCAM's two main functionalities is this. The RIP function is much more faster and the access list is maintained. Anyway, so IP routing, coming back to our thing, IP routing when you enable, we have the capability of creating a logical layer 3 interface, which is called as SVI. What is SVI? Switched virtual interface. For every VLAN, we can create a logical virtual interface, layer 3 interface, logical virtual layer 3 interface, which is called as SVI. If you want, make a note of it. Adita ever bertha? TCAM Adita ever? അത് TCAM അല്ലല്ലോ CAM അല്ലേ TCAM കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല VLAN ACL ഒക്കെ വരുന്നുണ്ട് TCAM ഒന്ന് നോക്കിക്കോ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റഡ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ടെക്സ്റ്റിനകത്ത് അധികം ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവില്ല വെറുതെ ഗൂഗിളിൽ അടിച്ചാൽ മതി സിസ്കോ TCAM അപ്പം മനസ്സിലാവും. Okay, so written what is SVI? SVI is a logical layer 3 switch interface. Logical layer 3 switch interface, right? Yeah, for VLANs. So now SVI, I can create for interface VLAN 10 like this. Simply go to the global configuration mode, interface VLAN 10, done. And then you give directly the gateway for the VLAN 10. What is it? IP address. Whatever commands you give in a, not whatever, almost all the commands which you give in the layer 3 routers interface, everything is supported here. Not everything, almost everything. Okay, there are certain things which is not supported, leave it. Most of the things what you study in NP level is supported here. Okay, even in IE level. Okay, most of the things are supported here. And you will give the IP address like 192.168.1.10. That's it. And the subnet mask. Then you can give this IP address as the default gateway for VLAN 10 PCs. And same way you will also create the interface VLAN 50. This VLAN 50 is a interface now. Logical interface for the VLAN 50. Correct? Instead of the sub interface, we are using SVI. Okay. In layer 2 switch, can I create can we have this SVI? Yes. Only one we can have for interface VLAN 1, which is by default it is there. If for that we will configure IP address. That's how we take the access of the layer 2 switches also for configuring purposes. Or else how do you access the layer 2 switches? There is always interface VLAN 1 SVI even in layer 2 devices. But in layer 3 switches, not only for interface VLAN 1, all the VLANs you can create what? SVIs, switched virtual interface. Clear? So once this is done, you will be able to communicate from here to here or here to here. Correct? Inter-VLAN routing will be possible. Now this is what? SVI. Now what is BVI? What is BVI? Bidirectional. Good guess, but wrong. BVI, you know? तू बोल. एक और टॉपिक तू ही बोला था ना. बोल. BVI क्या है? आप बताओ. मैं बताऊंगा. तू बोल पहले. भरत ला.
BVI.
No, Hari. कमल चेहरा देखो. BVI बोलो.
BVI, I think we can merge two L3 interfaces into one, right? I really never used it.
Okay, Janvi, do you know? Hello. Hello.
No idea.
Okay, bridged virtual interface. Bridged virtual interface. What is bridged virtual interface? You might have studied in NA. You have studied, I will tell. I'm telling you, you have studied. I know you have studied. Yes. Have you seen from a switch, layer 3 switch, can I connect to your router? What is the options available here? I can simply leave this. It will be a layer 2 switch port. I can make this into a trunk port, which we did in the router on stick method. Another option is I'll go to this interface and give no switch port. Right? It will become what? A L3 routed port. Right now, using SVI, we created in a switch L3 or layer 3 virtual interface or logical interface, right? Now we are creating a L3 physical interface in a switch. The physical interface in a switch for L3 is called as BVI, bridged virtual interface, or it is also called as routed port in a layer 3 switch. Okay? Means a physical interface of the switch. Means a real interface. Right now a normal interface will be a switch port. It will be completely made into what? A router port or routed port, like a layer 3 port in every way, almost every way. Okay. So to do that, what you have to do? Simply go to the interface and give no switch port. Done. So that is called as BVI. Okay. Any doubts? Now only BVI. The others you can configure. I showed you how to configure and all. That's easy. Only BVI. There is one thing you have to be careful. I'll go to switch 1. Interface E2/3. Okay. Okay. Before doing that, do show interface switch port begin interface switch port beg name E2/3. So this is 2/3, right? 2/3 is what? Right now switch port is enabled. Correct? You can see it. That means it's a layer 2 switch port. That's what it means. Now the moment I make this into a layer 3 port, routed port or BVI port, this will be not available in the when I type do show interface switch port, this interface will be not available anymore. It becomes a routed port. It's not a switch port anymore. Let's see that. I am already under that interface. Interface E2/3, no switch port. Done. It becomes a layer 3 port. Change it to up. Now if I go again check begin 2/3, nothing is there. In that output there is no. Earlier it showed the full details. Correct. Now is it showing anything? So clear? But no. Can I create in this switch VLAN 1006? Yes or no? Can I create VLAN 1006? All are checking yesterday's classifications of VLANs, right? What is a 1006 VLAN? Part of extended VLAN. Can I create extended VLAN? Any problem? In creating extended VLAN, is there any problem? No. So I can create, right? But there will be a problem here in this switch. Why? I have already created the switch 1006 VLAN here. When? How? Show VLAN. There is something called as internal VLAN. Have you heard about internal VLAN? What is internal?
That is when we are making some L2 interface into H interface. Virtual a VLAN created which is virtually merged into that interface.
Yes. So this BVI interface, when I am making in this layer 2 switch port into a layer 3 switch port by giving no switch port command, a VLAN from extended VLAN range, the first VLAN will be assigned in the background for switching process. That VLAN is called as internal VLAN. Show VLAN internal usage. See this. 1006 is already assigned to 2/3. So this VLAN is called as internal VLAN. Okay. So without knowing this concept, you made a port into switch routed port, and happily you will also configure a VLAN 1006 and assign it to some PCs, and it can create problems in the network. So as a precaution, what companies suggest to do is VLAN internal allocation policy. By default, the policy will be ascending. Means how the number is given from the ascending order, like 1006. If I create one more routed port, 1007 will be given, 1008 will be given. Instead of that, they tell you to configure descending. Means the next interface I make, it will come from 4094, 4093, because it's a human mentality. If somebody is creating extended VLAN also, they'll start from 1006, 1007, 1000. Nobody will go directly back and then start from back to the downwards, right? So that is why it's recommended. So that what happens is, if I go to interface E0 slash 2/2, let's say another interface, and I'm giving no switch port, and if I type do show VLAN internal usage, which is the VLAN right now is getting assigned 4094. So again, if I created a router port, it will assign 4093. It will go in the descending order. Clear enough for today? Rest you do the lab now. Half an hour is there. Okay. Try all these things lab. Assam, you need more topic? One more? No, please, one more topic.
One request I have. Can you please configure the system with this virtual box?
Lab admin. You can contact the lab admin. They will help you. I'm already lazy and I don't have time. So
Networking person must be lazy. Then only network will be better.
yeah, I know. It's the what is his name? Bill Gates dialogue, right? Bill Gates told if he wants to create a program in very fast and the best way, he will find a laziest person in his group, because he will always come up with the shortcuts to finish it off. Hardworking people will find the correct, perfect, long way, but the laziest people will come somehow to finish it off and give it off. But that's not a credit, okay? Goa, why you are looking? I'm asking you. You should have an inbound talent of laziness. No, you don't have that. You can ask the lab admins, or you can ask the seniors. Sorry, not juniors. For descending? Sorry? Which command you want? He gave it? Good. Guys, start doing lab. Do lab. Don't be lazy. Do the lab. Janvi? Hello?
Yes.
You are doing the lab?
I'll do it after the class. I'll disconnect.
So
Okay.
there will be nothing I'll be taking. Can I disconnect now? I'll be not taking anything more.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
And upload that video, okay?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.